Howdy ho, ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? Happy Friday. I hope you guys are going to have a great weekend, and I hope you guys had a great week. But today we're going to be learning about how to do 3D motion tracking. I know that it's something that I personally struggled with when I started editing, so I'm hoping that maybe this tutorial will help you grasp it a little bit better and a little bit easier. So just go ahead and open up After Effects, and we can get started. But yeah, guys, I hope you had a great week. And sorry that it's Saturday and I didn't upload Friday. It's been really hectic just getting back from spring break and everything. But next week should be, spot on par with our upload schedule because I'll have more time because I literally got back on Saturday night and then I had Sunday stuff to do for Easter, so you're just going to go ahead and import your cinematic. I got one right here, and then you are going to make a new composition with just the cinematic. Alright, so now that you have the cinematic in, and it's in the composition, you're just going to go over to your effects and presets and type in 3D camera tracker. There it is, just drag that onto your clip. Once again, if you have your clip selected, you can go up to Effect, and then go to Perspective, and then 3D Camera Tracker, it's the same thing. So, once you applied the effect, you'll see this Camera Tracker effect come up in your Effects control window. So, that's basically all your information that you're getting. It does take some time. It goes frame by frame, as you can see. I got 2 minutes left on this one, so you just have to wait until it's done. The advanced tab is very important because this average error, every video that you track will have an error of some sort, but if that error is above 1, then that means that your track is not good and most likely will screw up your video if you try to 3D motion track anything. So if it's above 1, that's bad, but if it's below 1, like 0.5 or 0.2 or 0.8 or something like that, the lower the better. So I normally go 1 and below is what I like to see. If it's 1 and above, then you might have to use a different cinematic or use a different program to track your motion. And next week, we will be showing you how to track motion in Buju, because I know a lot of people don't have After Effects CS6. And for you CS 5.5 guys, or CS5 or CS4, or whatever you're using After Effects in, you're probably looking around like, oh, where's this magic effect he's talking about? Well, it's only on CS6. So if you don't have CS6, then watch next week's tutorial, and then that will show you how to do it with Buju. And we'll be showing you how to import from Buju right into After Effects, and then also right into Cinema 4D, because eventually we'll get into Cinema 4D as well. So once it's done solving the camera, make sure you keep your eye on the average error, and then we should be ready to rock and roll. Come on now, solve. It's like some super hard math equation, I guess. But everything else should be kept the same. I like auto detect and 3D solve, of course. And fixed angle of view, the only time you would need to change this is if you were doing, say, in real life, messing with the zoom on your camera, then you would have to change this as well. So my average error is 0.22 pixels, which is very good. So now you don't see any tracking points, it's just the clip. That's because my effect is not selected. Once you select the effect, you see a whole bunch of tracking points. And this basically compiles data saying, hey, this thing is moving, and it tries to assign a group of points to track that, and with that you can make a plane. say something like right here. Now as I move, you can see it's even getting, some of the debris in the sky, which is pretty cool, like this guy right up here. But yeah, so when I hover over, it selects 3 points and it makes a plane. Now this is good because then you can get a sense of, this is the ground, this is a wall, and that kind of stuff. Now I've done this a lot of times because I've recorded the tutorial a lot. So what you're going to want to do is, this is great right here, but it's only 3 points that it's selecting. And if one of those points, say loses its track, then what are you going to do? Then you're only tracking with 2 points. And then what if the second point loses its track? Then you don't have a good track at all. So you want something where there's quite a few points on objects. So say you see this flat top right here. The reason why there's aren't any points is because it can't see anything like moving, really. Like here there's a little crack. It can track that, but it can't track something where there's nothing. So I think that right here, and like this debris field, is perfect. So I'm just going to click and hold down and drag over the area that I want to track. Right there. And this is ideal. Right, we got plenty of room, got plenty of area for this. Sorry for the door. Someone just came into my house. But yeah, so this way you have so many track points that the camera will be very accurate. Now you're gonna right click, and it'll bring up your options. You have create text in camera, create solid in camera, or create null in camera. I don't know why you just can't create a camera, but hey, don't judge that. And then you can create shadow catcher, camera, and light if it was like a flat scene, say. But right now we're just gonna say create null in camera. And you notice nothing changes immediately except you have 2 layers. You have a camera layer and a null layer. The camera, if you look at it in the top view, is actually mimicking your camera that you set up in Black Ops 2. So, as you can see, it is following exactly what the virtual camera did in Black Ops 2 when you recorded your cinematic. You can see the path that it's taking. Excuse me. You can see the path that it's taking and the angle of view that it's looking at, which is pretty cool. So, going back into our active camera, you can see that camera looked pretty exact. When you click on the null, it creates a null in the center of our objects that we selected, our track points. And if I scrub through, you can see that it's staying there very, very accurately. And that's the basics, pretty much, to 3D camera tracking. You've tracked this scene successfully. So I'm going to click the null, and I'm just going to delete it, because there's no need to have that null right now. And say, I wanted to make text on this scene. I'll go up to the 3D camera tracker effect, and say I want text right there on that tracker. I'm going to right click, and say create text. And then I can select the text and move it around, and it instantly, right here, you can tell that it made it a 3D layer. So I can scale it up, move it over a little bit, and there we go. We now have 3D tracked text in our scene. Now you may notice that the sign and the wall is not covering it up. That is because it doesn't have actually any information that this is supposed to be blocking this. So we'll cover on how to get rid of that in a later tutorial. But that's all we got time for today, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed, I hope you liked it, and I hope you come back next week for the next advanced tutorial. And if you're a beginner, make sure you go watch the beginners tutorials. Link will be in the description. And I'll see you guys on Monday. I'm out. Peace.